Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Cover Wars. I'm your host, aJaX, and with me always is Seth. Seth, how's it going tonight?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm what they call a little under the weather, so if my voice sounds weird, that's why, but I'll live, I will survive, and I'll live for another episode of Cover Wars. Here on Cover Wars, what we do is we find you, the listening audience, the top 3 cover versions of a song, and we do so by combing through a curated playlist of 20 cover versions of a particular song. Then we reveal in a surprise manner our top 5 favorite picks. And then from those top 5, we battle it out in a cover war to determine the quintessential top 3 cover versions of a song, culminating in the best cover ever of a particular song. Seth, what song will we be covering today on Cover Wars?
Requested by Moselle, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John.
Oh yeah, let's do this. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is a song written by British musician Elton John and lyricist Bernie Taupin and performed by John. It is the title track on John's album of the same name. The titular road is a reference to L. Frank Baum's The Wizard of Oz film and book series. So, Seth, what is your history with the song Goodbye Yellow Brick Road?
Honestly, I really just loved Elton John as a child. The older I got, the more songs I discovered, and he's just a tremendous talent with an imprint on the history of music. This song in particular, I don't have a lot of history with, but I do love this song. It's very unique.
Yeah, I think it's grown in popularity over the years with the popularity of The Wizard of Oz and all of the Wizard of Oz variants never dying out, growing ever popular with The Wiz and Wicked and the second Wicked film and all of the different musicals and everything surrounding The Wizard of Oz. But on top of that, the song itself, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, has a lot of deep meaning to it, and we'll get into the lyrics as we go along. But the song, after being recorded in May 1973, it was released in late 1973 as the album's second single and entered the top 10 in both the United Kingdom and the United States. It was one of John's biggest hits and quickly surpassed his previous single, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, in both sales and popularity following its release. So, Seth, how important is it to have a writing partner like Taupin in your corner?
I think it's very important to have someone to bounce ideas off of. I think it kind of goes both hands. I know he does a lot of the piano stuff, so it probably goes back and forth, and they work really well together. So it could be very important.
Yeah, I think it's just amazing how many songs they wrote together and how well that it worked for each other, because that's not always the case with writing partners. Sometimes they just don't have the same ideas and they don't flow as well, and the critical acclaim wouldn't be there if it wasn't genuine. And you could tell they had a genuine respect for each other. And this song is no different. So the lyrics written by Taupin contain autobiographical elements referring to his childhood on a farm in Lincolnshire. The song expresses a desire to get back to one's roots, a common theme of Taupin's early lyrics. In 2014, Taupin reflected, "It's been many times, but Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is a cinematic album. The lyrics to the title track do say that I want to leave Oz and get back to the farm. I think that's still my MO these days. I don't mind getting out there and doing what everybody else was doing, but I always had to have an escape hatch," which is very interesting. I like that. In 2020, he added, "I don't believe I was ever turning my back on success or anything, or saying I didn't want it. I just don't believe I was ever that naive. I think I was just hoping that maybe there was a happy medium way to exist successfully in a more tranquil setting. My only naivete, I guess, was believing I could do it so early on. I had to travel a long road and visit the school of hard knocks before I could come even close to achieving that goal. So, Seth, are you ready for some trivia?
Sure. Bring it
Okay.
on.
In 2010, where did Rolling Stone rank this song on their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time? A, 90, B, 190, C, 290, or D, 390?
I'm going to go to 90.
Ooh, that's a good guess, but it was D, 390.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'll have a follow-up question for you too, that I just making up on the spot right now. In the song, two animals are mentioned as howling. What are those two animals? In the song Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Howling. There's dogs.
That's one, yes. And the other howling animal.
Oh boy. Oh, I don't know.
It's okay. Think about it. I'll give you 3 more seconds. Got the dog.
I don't think that's gonna help.
The dog. Ew, we're out of time. It was the owl. The owl.
Oh, yes.
The howling owl owl. It's okay. You got one of the two. That's pretty good. So, I did pose a question on the socials that to everybody. What is your favorite Elton John song? Seth, why is Crocodile Rock your favorite Elton John song?
It is so playful. I like a lot of his early stuff because it's so playful. It's so much fun. I feel like he got more dramatic and darker the longer he was in his career. And the early ones were really fun. It's something puts me in a great mood when I listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot more self-reflection. You're right, as we got older or got along there in age for sure. But yeah, I like that. I like that you mentioned it was playful. It's nice. My favorite one is Your Song. I just think Your Song is great. It's very existential in its lyrics too. If I were a sculptor, but then again, no, that the way that like you cut yourself off in your own song, I just think that's funny. But anyway, I also posed this question on our socials, and thanks to everybody who left responses in the comments. So you can find links to all of our socials here in the description. I just want to go through the list here, all of the different Elton John songs people left as their favorites. All the Young Girls Love Alice, I'm Still Standing, Mona Lisa and Mad Hatters, Tiny Dancer, All the Nasties, Rocket Man, I guess that's why they call it the blues, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Texan Love Song, Funeral for a Friend / Love Lights Bleeding, Sacrifice, Madman, Blue Eyes, Meal Ticket, Amarina, Benny and the Jets, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word, Writing, Come Down in Time, and Leave On. And that's just to name a handful of classic hits. Some of those weren't even singles. Some of those were deep cuts. But my goodness, I mean, this is just part of his illustrious career. So, Seth, did you have anything else to add on Goodbye Yellow Brick Road before we get into a little bit more on Elton?
No, other than it's just a great song. It's a great pick. I'm really glad that we got to do this one. And
Me too.
I can't wait to hear more about it.
All right. So, a little bit on the artist himself. Sir Elton Hercules John, born Reginald Kenneth Dwight back in 1947, is a British singer-songwriter and pianist. His music and showmanship have had a significant lasting effect on the music industry, as you mentioned earlier. His songwriting partnership with lyricist Bernie Taupin is one of the most successful in history. John was the 19th EGOT winner in history. He also sold over 300 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. And that's not shocking if you think about it. I mean, we're talking about a generational talent here. John learned to play piano at an early age, winning a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music. In the 1960s, he formed the blues band Bluesology, wrote songs for other artists alongside Taupin, and worked as a session musician before releasing his debut album, Empty Sky, in 1969. Throughout the next 6 decades, John cemented his status as a cultural icon with 32 studio albums. He has also had success in musical, film, and theater, composing the music for The Lion King. That's something that you don't really even think about until you maybe watch The Lion King. But those songs, I have heard them so many times Can You Feel the Love Tonight is just like ingrained in every kid who was who was born around that time. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing those songs. Um, Also, Ida and Billy Elliot the musical, John's final tour, Farewell Yellow Brick Road, from 2018 all the way to 2023, became the highest grossing tour ever at the time, before Taylor Swift's era is dethroned Mr. Sir Elton John. His life and career were also dramatized in 2019's biographical film Rocket Man. John has had more than 50 top 40 hits on the UK singles charts and US Billboard Hot 100, including 9 number ones in both countries. I thought that was low. Did you think he had more number ones than 9?
Not necessarily. That sounds to me to get 9 number ones is pretty amazing.
Well, when you
wouldn't think that was low.
When you think about the Beatles and Elvis, you don't think about Drake and Taylor Swift. You would think more about Elton John. But yeah, I mean, 9, that's pretty good still too. But yeah, Drake and Taylor Swift are getting up there. He is the most successful solo artist in the history of the US Billboard charts, however. His tribute single to Diana, Princess of Wales, Candle in the Wind, 1997, a rewritten version of his 1974 single, sold over 33 million copies worldwide and is the best-selling chart single of all time. Did you know that?
Sounds right.
That's crazy. I mean, we talk about how heavy, a time period that was and how great of a loss it was. It does make sense because that tribute was exceptional. And for it to be a song where he rewrote his own lyrics to fit the tragedy and, just the homage, the life story of Princess Di, I thought it was fabulous. And yeah, it does make sense. In 2021, he became the first solo artist with UK top 10 singles across 6 decades. Just unbelievable to think about that. John's awards include a Primetime Emmy Award, 5 Grammy Awards, 2 Academy Awards, and a Tony Award, making him that 19th EGOT at the time, 19th. I don't know how many there are now, but it's a very short list. He was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1992 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994. And, the list of accolades go on and on. Do you have anything else to add about Sir Elton John before we get into the lyrics here?
No.
All right, so Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. The song is about delusionment with fame and the desire to return to a simpler life. Of course, we mentioned Bernie Taupin's his life earlier, going back to the farm. The yellow brick road symbolizes the path of fame and fortune from the Wizard of Oz, which the narrator wants to leave behind to return to their roots. That going back to the plow, signifying the farm, and a more grounded existence. It reflects a feeling of being overwhelmed by success and the superficial aspects of stardom, longing for the tranquility of a life before fame. Does that sound about right to you, Seth?
Yeah, it all makes sense when you hear the song, although when you hear the song without the explanation, it's a little difficult to interpret, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think it does get abstract, and there are liberties taken in the lyrics just to make them more interesting, which I appreciate. But all in all, I think just a very well-written song. So here we go. Let's get into these lyrics now. Verse 1 begins. When are you going to come down? When are you going to land? I should have stayed on the farm. I should have listened to my old man. You can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. And then the refrain with the ahs, So I'm just going to say refrain next time we come to, so I'll have to embarrass myself with Oz. Oz, hey, Oz. Different Oz. So goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow. Back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny-backed toad. Oh, I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. And then the next refrain with the Oz. What do you think you'll do then? I bet they'll shoot down the plane. It'll take you a couple of vodka and tonics to set you on your feet again. Maybe you'll get a replacement. There's plenty like me to be found. Mongrels who ain't got a penny, sniffing for tidbits like you on the ground. And then the refrain again repeats, back to the chorus. So goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow. Back to the howling old owls, hunting the horny-backed toad. Well, I finally decided my future lies beyond the Yellow Brick Road. All right, Seth, what, if any, lyrics stick out to you there?
So I like the part where he says, I should have stayed on the farm, should listen to my old man. I think those are really cool lyrics. I also like this boy's too young to be singing the blues. I thought that was really interesting. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm just quoting the whole song now.
They're all great. They're so poetic, but you can tell they're very deep and meaningful. I like it.
And I love it'll take you a couple of vodka and tonics. I think that's a very interesting line, especially with the rest of the song.
I also love the British accent version of vodka and tonics because anytime it's very, it's just one of those things with the British accent. When there's a word that ends in a vowel and then the conjunction and comes in that starts with a vowel, there's always an R sound, and I love that. So when someone with a British accent says vodka and tonics, they really say vodka and tonics, and that's great. I just love that. So you hear that in the song, and then you hear that in a few renditions on our covers list here, and I love it. And I have to look it up to make sure, but yeah, every one of them that you do hear it on, they're British, so it makes sense. So also, my personal favorite line, I'm pretty sure you can guess, is back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny-backed toad. So that one just sticks out to me. So of course you have to Google, do owls hunt horny-backed toads? And so I did. And yes, owls do hunt and eat toads and frogs. I knew they hunted frogs, but I didn't know about the toads. The phrase hunting the horny-backed toad is also a line from the Elton John song, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Thanks, Google, I know. And it says, that has been discussed in a literal context in blogs and social media in relation to owl diets. So I'm not the only one that was curious. Owls, particularly species like the great horned owl and eastern screech owl, are opportunistic predators with highly diverse diets that include a wide variety of prey, such as rodents like mice, rats, rabbits, voles, other mammals such as skunks, possums, porcupines, bats, moles, birds like ducks, gulls, other owls. But there's nothing that like specifically states a horned-back toad or a horny-back toad. So that was a lyric that was just thrown in there. But it was close. I mean, a toad. So if it's a horny-back toad, I'm sure the owl would still try for it. So anything else on these lyrics before we get into our ratings?
No, I got nothing. Thank you for that, by the way.
You know, it was very important to this podcast that we talked about the howling old owl hunting the horny-back toad. Okay. And the choice of horny-back instead of hornback is interesting. But I digress. Okay, so let's get into these ratings. I'm so excited to see where all of these covers landed. And if you haven't yet already, you can always check out our playlist, our YouTube playlist, and our Spotify playlist will be down near somewhere in the description and in the pinned comment. All right, Seth, without any further ado, what is your number 5?
Every episode, I hope I'm pronouncing this right.
Oh, no.
So my number 5 is Wax Kokomo.
Okay. Wax. Kokomo.
With Kokomo.
Oh, yeah, with Kokomo. Or Kokomo. There's like spaces between it.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand. Like, I didn't know if it was like Kokomo or Kokomo or Kokomo.
Well, I'll tell you why there might be a little distinction here. This was from a single released in May 2024. Wax has 400,000 monthly listeners and is a French composer, producer, and multi-instrumentalist, while Kokomo is a French electro rock duo with 72,000 monthly listeners. So perhaps the French version there is why it was a little confusing. But why did you like them so much that you put them at number 5?
So I really liked it. It was, to me, it sounded like the most 70s vibe of all the ones on the playlist. The beginning had the great acoustic guitar, the very cool intro. It just was a really nice sounding take.
I agree. I like this one too. Just a very unique version, I thought, layered in a bunch of different instruments, and I think they all work. It's a very sweetly sung version as well. So very good. Wax and Coco Mo. All right, Seth, would you like to know my number 5?
Please, sir.
Okay, sir. My number 5 is from Kevin Sim. Kevin Sim. Let me tell you about Kevin Sim. This was from the single released on August 2019. 273,000 monthly listeners. Kevin is a English-born singer-songwriter and was a member of the band Liberty X from 2001 to 2007 and is the current lead vocalist of Wet, Wet, Wet. That one shocked me. I did not know that. Sim also won The Voice UK in 2016. Won the whole thing. So the reason I've got Kevin at number 5, this was an excellent acoustic guitar version. I think he nails both the playing of the guitar and the singing. Lots of attitude in the song. I like the attitude of his vocal structure too, but I thought there was a lot of heart and soul. I just love this version. I thought it adds a whole new perspective from the acoustic guitar point of view. And the fact that this was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road on the acoustic guitar, I just thought he did a great job. So what did you think of that version?
I agree with everything you said. I wrote down campfire acoustic, relaxed, wonderful guitar version. So everything you said was right on what I was thinking.
Very nice. Okay, let's just get right into it then. Seth, what is your number 4?
This one might surprise some people. My number 4 is Hunter Hayes.
Ooh, okay. Hunter Hayes. Interesting choice. Hunter Hayes. Let's find Hunter on here. Let's see. Hunter Hayes. This was from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the 40th anniversary celebration / super deluxe edition released in 2013. Hunter currently at 1.7 million monthly listeners. He is an American multi-genre singer, but known for his country albums. He's a songwriter. He's a record producer and a multi-instrumentalist. He is proficient in more than 30 instruments. So, Seth, why do you have Hunter Hayes at number 4?
I have Hunter Hayes because it had a very unique sound. I love the bass, the drums, but it was a country soul version. It was just a fun, cool vibe. It's just a very unique rendition.
Very cool. Yeah, I thought it was well done too, well mixed. And I thought it was very true to the original, which makes sense it being put on a compilation, a super deluxe version of the 40th anniversary. So I don't think he wanted to stray too far away from it, but I think he stayed true to the original too. So yeah, I very much appreciated that one as well. All right, Seth, are you ready for my number 4?
I gotta know.
Okay. My number 4 is from Karina and Safe House. From a single release back in September of 2023. Karina, currently at just 5,400 monthly listeners, is a Nashville singer-songwriter and self-proclaimed fried pickle connoisseur. That's right. I just said that. Safe House, on the other hand, just 361 total monthly listeners, a trio of folk singers that I can't find any other info for online because there are so many different things when you Google Safe House, other bands and stuff too, and I could not find them anywhere. But I loved this version of the song. I thought it was sweet, moving, and when the delicate harmonies come in, they just really kind of tug at your heartstrings. I thought it was very melodically haunting and just stays in that perfect moody tone, but the vocals are just very well done and the mix is near perfect. I love this version. What did you think of Karina in Safe House?
I loved it as well. It was a slowed down, excellent take. The vocals were just outstanding, like you mentioned. It had a uniqueness to it that the others didn't have. That something I couldn't put my finger on, and it was hard to figure out where I would put that if I put it anywhere. So this one was a very strong performance.
Yeah, I agree with that. The not putting your finger. I know what you mean by that. Yeah, I kept going back to this one, and every time I did, I liked it more and more, and it got moved all the way up to 4. So impressed with the placement, and I was kind of shocked at how few listeners they have. So go seek out Karina and Safe House. So Seth, what is your number 3?
So if you've watched every episode, you would know I'm a fan of Aqualung.
Aqualung. Okay. Does that mean Aqualung is your number 3?
That means Aqualung is my number 3. Sorry.
Go figure. No, that's fine. Aqualung. Hey, isn't that a name of a Jethro Tull album? All right. Aqualung. So this was from a single released in April of 2021. He's currently at 428 monthly listeners. That's 428,000 monthly listeners. Matthew Nicholas Hales is it pronounced Hales? Go with that,
I believe
right?
so.
Okay. He's an English singer, songwriter, musician, and producer, and has been performing professionally under the name Aqualung since the early 2000s. He's best known for the UK hit song Strange and Beautiful, which was featured on the Volkswagen Beetle commercials during the summer of 2002. Went on to become a top 10 hit on the UK singles chart later that year. In the US, Aqualung is also known for the song Brighter Than Sunshine, which has considerable airplay and was used in the film A Lot Like Love, which I had never even thought about since its release until I just read that. I'm like, is that Ashton Kutcher movie? A Lot Like Love. I'm like, all right. Various other television spots too. Hales has released 7 albums as Aqualung, the most recent being Dead Letters that appeared in 2022. Hey, look, you have that movie. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. So it was an Ashton Kutcher movie. I wasn't losing my mind, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Yeah, I like this too. I just want to know from you though, why did you pick them or pick him, Aqualung himself, at number 3?
Yeah. So I thought it was a soothing vocal. He made it his own. He took the elements of the song and made it his style, and it fit his voice and his vocal range. And there was something soothing about it, something very pleasant. And that's why it made my number 3. However, it's surprising it didn't make it higher because of how much of a fan I am of his. So,
because of your bias toward Aqualung, yeah.
Yes, my bias, my total bias.
I agree with you. The pleasant and soothing; those are 2 words that I can definitely agree with. I thought there was great restraint practice there as well, very subtle. I thought it was an understated version with nice falsettos, not annoying falsettos. Falsettos can get to be a little much in certain songs, but I think he did them justice there. And then just a delightful high note piano. Midway through, the emotion picks up. I thought it was still very nice and stripped down and captivating. So that is my thoughts on Aqualung. Seth, would you like to know my number 3?
I really do. I want to know.
And again, I must apologize for my Aqualungs because my voice is starting to get lost.
Oh, no.
No, it's all right. It's still there. I can feel it. Hey, guess what? We have our first match of the evening. At number 3, I have Wax and Coco Mo.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Yeah, I thought it was it was a very sweetly sung, unique version. And I thought all the different instruments used here all work. All the choices made in the production, I thought they were all equally innovative and effective. And I thought it just provided a pleasurable listening experience. I found myself constantly going back to it. And I didn't think at first that I would have it ranked this high. But as I compared it to the other versions, I'm like, yeah, this is number 3. So yeah, anything else to say about that version that you didn't say already?
Just that I love it.
Well, clearly I agree with you, and I loved it two notches more than you did. So take that. All right.
There's not many on this list that I don't love. I think there was 2 songs that I didn't care as much for, but
I would agree with that. Yeah, and I mean, like, it gets harder and harder as you listen to it so many times because you find reasons to move them up, and there's only so many spots.
That's exactly right.
So that being said, Seth, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is, and I hope I'm saying this right, Ellie Drennan.
Okay, Ellie Drennan. I mean, that sounds right to me. Now
Okay.
let's see if I can find Ellie Drennan. I
I
know I
like to
have
butcher
some
names on this
information.
podcast for sure.
Well, I think I have some information for you. This is from a covers album called Close Your Eyes. It was released in September 2015. Ellie Drennan, sitting at just 4,600 monthly listeners, is an Australian pop singer-songwriter. And get this, she is the youngest winner of The Voice Australia at the age of 16. Yes, she won The Voice as well in Australia. In July to August of 2015, she gained a huge following from her YouTube covers. And yeah, I like the choices she makes with the notes and the way she articulates the lyrics. Why do you have Ellie Drennan all the way at number 2?
I've got vocals on point, really great tone. There were some unique choices as far as the, I wouldn't say arrangement, but I would say notes that she does
Oh,
in
I agree.
each verse.
Yeah, the inflections and the articulation, I mean, it's very original, like composed differently than many, many of the other versions of this. So,
Yes.
wow. I like it. Would you like to know my number 2?
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Okay, well, my number 2 is Yola. Yola from the deluxe edition of Walk Through the Fire. This was released in December of 2019. Yola, at 518,000 monthly listeners, known professionally as Yola or Yola Carter, is an English singer, songwriter, musician, and actress. Her debut studio album, Walk Through the Fire, received critical acclaim and earned her 4 Grammy Award nominations, including Best New Artist. Her follow-up, Stand For Myself, received similar acclaim and earned her 2 more Grammy nominations for a total of 6. Yola made her acting debut in 2022, portraying the godmother of rock and roll, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, in Baz Luhrmann's biopic, Elvis. And no, I did not know that until I looked it up. And I was like, oh, well, that's awesome. I did see Elvis like 3 or 4 times, too. Later, she made her Broadway debut in 2024 and began playing Persephone in Anais Mitchell's musical, Hadestown. I thought this was just such a great soulful version that demands your attention. If you haven't heard this one, please take my advice and give it a listen. It made me wish the song was 3 times longer. I kept having to repeat it over and over again. I couldn't get enough of it. And her voice is just unbelievable. What did you think of Yola's version?
I don't think you're going to believe me. It's word for word what you said. I wrote down soulful version, great vocals.
Okay. Well, I mean, what else is there to be said, really? Okay, so it's that time of the podcast where there's so many great versions of the song. Seth had a top 15. I had a top 14. That's how great it was. But we're going to do our 10 through 6 now. And honorable mention, Seth. Starting with number 10, I will give you little bits of information as we go along. What is your number 10?
My number 10, and this was a hard fight for it, is Ryan Woods.
Okay. So Ryan Woods, from the single released in November of 2021, currently sits at 74,000 monthly listeners. He fuses modern pop with psychedelic experimental tones that make for a pleasurable listening experience. What did you like so much about Ryan?
So Ryan, I thought it was a beautiful version. I wrote down sensational, very well produced. That's what I put down.
Nice. Okay, what about number 9 for you?
At 9, I've got, I believe I'm saying this right, Veins of Jenna.
Okay, Veins of Jenna, yeah. Let me talk to you a little bit about Veins of Jenna now. So, Veins of Jenna, this was from an album, a covers album called Reverse Tripped from March 2011. They have 92,000 monthly listeners. They were a Swedish rock band formed in 2005, known for their sleaze rock and frequent comparisons to bands like Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses. After moving to Los Angeles, they gained attention through Bam Margera as the band was signed to his label as the first band signed to his label. And they later toured internationally before disbanding in 2012. So what did you like so much about Veins of Jenna?
So I wrote down subdued rock take, nice sound.
I see. I could definitely hear the Axl appreciation in that song. That version, it was like, oh, they're going for Axl Rose, which ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Kevin Sim.
Hey, I mentioned Kevin Sim. So again, why did you like Kevin Sims so much?
It just had that really relaxed vibe. Something about it was very comfortable.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Comfortable. And for me, just attitude. Yeah, the attitude in the song. All right. What about number 7 for you?
Number 7 pains me that it's not higher.
Oh, no.
Number 7 I thought would be much, much, much higher. Number 7 is Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, yeah. Katsa. All right. So let's talk about the Queens of Stone Age version. And this was from Revamp, the songs of Elton John and Bernie Taupin, a compilation and a covers tribute album released in April of 2018. Queens of the Stone Age at 7.2 million monthly listeners. Of course, an American rock band formed in Seattle in 1996. Josh Homme has been the only constant member throughout multiple lineup changes since 2013. Their most popular song, No One Knows, featured Dave Grohl on the drum kit. So, Seth, why did you have them at 7?
I simply wrote down excellent rock greatness, fun vocal. It's just a good, like a playful take.
Very nice. Okay, and number 6 for you.
Believe it or not, my number 6 was Keen with Fault Line.
Okay. Keen with Fault Line. All right. So let me tell you about them. So Keen with Fault Line, this was from a single released in November of 2004. Keen, believe it or not, has 25.3 million monthly listeners and is 262nd in the world. They are an English alternative rock band from Battle, East Sussex, formed in 1995. The band comprises of Tom Chaplin, popular in the US for Somewhere Only We Know, but as you could tell from what I just mentioned and their stats, much bigger internationally. Fault Line, with just 11,000 monthly listeners, is also a London-based solo project of David Costin. Uses sampled voices, classical instruments, and distorted drums to create a soundscape all his own. What did you like so much about Keen and Fault Line?
It was very keen, and it was a fun, great rendition. It had a uniqueness to it. The vocals were very fresh, and I like that.
Very nice. Okay, yeah, Keen. I did not have any idea they were that huge, but if you look up Keen over, like they're on the radio as much as I don't even know what to compare them to here in the U.S., but they're radio darlings internationally, and so they're highly acclaimed. Okay, so Seth, are you ready for my honorables?
I'm really hoping we got some matches in there.
There's a few, but not as many as I was hoping for or thought. However, our number 10 is exact. It is Ryan Wood's for me as well. I thought this was just a very original and innovative take with several different key changes, and the effects used here were very effective. Even with that static grab at the beginning of the song, the way the music cuts out during the song and then comes back is very nice. There's one toward the end, though, that's a little jarring, but I just thought it was just very creative, and I love the take. My number 9 is Aqualung. The reason I have it so high, I'll explain here in a little bit. Maybe I don't know if I have an explanation, or low, I should say. But I thought Aqualung practiced very nice restraint here. Very subtle, understated version with nice falsettos. Underlying endearing quality over delightful high note piano. Midway through, the emotion picks up, but still very stripped down and captivating. So, the reason I have it up toward 9, I don't know. I wanted a little more, I think, a little more from it, but it's still great. At number 8, I have Bumblefoot. This was from a single released in April of 2011. Bumblefoot's at 32,000 monthly listeners. Bumblefoot, better known by Ron Bumblefoot Ty, or simply Bumblefoot, is an American guitarist, songwriter, and producer. He adopted his nickname from the bacterial infection of the same name. That's right. He was one of 2 lead guitarists in Guns N' Roses from 2006 till 2014 and performed on Chinese Democracy, the album that took like 25 years to come out. He was the guitarist for the supergroup Sons of Apollo, and currently with supergroup Whom Gods Destroy, and he served as the guitarist and vocalist for the band Asia from 2019 to 2022. So he's been all over the place in the industry. I just thought it's from a double-necked guitarist who's been around and seen a thing or two. This, for me, works as an infectious homage with excellent instrumentation throughout. I thought the guitar licks are nice. Probably my favorite was the ending with the "Oh Yeah," wrapping up his take. And I like his version of Axl better than the Veins of Jenna, which makes sense when you know that he toured with Guns N' Roses. But you could tell that the "Oh Yeah" at the end was just like a nod to Axl, and I thought that was awesome. So what did you think of Bumblefoot's version, since it wasn't in your top or your?
I had a unique arrangement. I love the drums and guitar.
Very nice. Okay, my number 7 is Ellie Drennan. So Ellie Drennan from that covers album that we talked about, Close Your Eyes. I love the choices she makes with the notes, the way she articulates the lyrics. There's a great build up to the high notes that climb the ladder nicely. I had this in my top 5 at one point, but ultimately the competition just pushed her back. But wow, I love this version. And just, it's interesting that I don't think many people have heard it. She only has 4,600 monthly listeners. People listen to Ellie Drennan's version of the song. It's fabulous. Okay, my number 6 is Hunter Hayes from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the 40th anniversary celebration / Super Deluxe. For me, this version is just well done. It's well mixed and probably the most true to the original, but he is able to add his twang and flair with the utmost subtlety and panache, and I never would have imagined I would have him place this version so high. I would never imagine it. But it's just too good to deny. It just missed my top 5. So I've got Hunter at 6. I've got Ellie Drennan at 7. And let's see, what was our other match? Kind of Aqualung at 9. So this is going to be interesting as we get into the cover war. But here we go, Seth. What is your number 1?
My number 1, believe it or not, my top 3 I felt were the best piano takes. So my number 1 is Sarah Bareilles.
All right, Sarah Bareilles. Let's talk a little bit about Sarah. This is from the album Brave Enough, live at the Variety Playhouse in Atlanta, Georgia. This was released on October 2013. Sarah, currently at 5.1 million monthly listeners. Sarah Bareilles is an American singer, songwriter, musician, and actress. She has sold over 3 million albums and over 15 million singles in the U.S. Bareilles has earned various accolades, including 2 Grammy Awards, nominations for 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, and 3 Tony Awards. In 2012, VH1 named her one of the top 100 greatest women in music. Seth, why did you choose Sarah Bareilles as your number 1?
Precision, power, and just sensational.
Well put, well spoken, well said. I just think, powerful is the way to go. I think she just bangs those keys on the piano and just lets the notes come alive. So that is Sarah. All right, Seth, are you ready for my number 1?
I am so ready. I hope we have a match or close to it.
Well, Seth, this was my number 1 the entire time, and it never stopped being my number 1, even though the competition was fierce. My number 1 is also Sarah Bareilles. This is just, for me, simply the best version. Like, I don't think anything compares, although Yola was pretty awesome. This one is just on another level completely. The notes just come to life. They fill the theater, the playhouse there. And then they come to life in ways only Elton could make this happen. And for that reason alone, it's my number 1. So we have Sarah Bareilles. Sarah Bareilles will be, without question, our number 1. But then, who's our number 2? Who's our number 3? It's looking interesting here. So we both in our top 5 picked Wax and Coco Mo. So 3 and 5 is 8. However, Ellie Drennan, I had at 7 and you had at 2, so that's 9. So,
actually, I think you had Hunter Hayes at 6. I had him at 4.
So that's 10. Ellie at 2 and Ellie at 7 for me. That's 9. So I'm thinking it's gonna be Coco Mo featured on that Wax track, yo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Seth. I know you really are really championing some of those other versions. Hey, why was Yola not in your top 10? Come on, Seth.
Yeah, I liked it more and more. I have to say this though. I did the one that I felt really guilty about was the
Uh-oh.
Karina in the safe house.
Oh yeah, okay.
Corinna, and I honestly feel like that's one of the better takes of all of them.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't
And I
even think
felt
about
really
that.
guilty about not putting that on my top 10.
More guilty
So
about that than Yola. Oh well. Well, and
I
so for
do.
me, like it is interesting that well, it's interesting for me that you had Queens of the Stone Age and Veins of Jenna up there. Those were two that I didn't like nearly as much, and I thought I would. But once I started listening to all the versions, they just kept getting scooched back. I thought the Queens of the Stone Age version was a little too safe, and I thought the Veins of Jenna version was a little too corny. But I still loved them. I mean, there's not a bad version on this playlist really at all. But in the end, it had to be what had to be.
Well, this was a
Number
hard
one.
playlist for sure. So
Yeah, it was. Okay. This is going to be, people are going to be like, who are these people? And we're just going to be like, just listen to them. You'll know. Okay, here we
if
go.
you don't know who Sarah Bareilles is, you got a problem.
Well, obviously, Sarah Bareilles people. I'm talking about the other two, the 3 and 2. All right, here we go. Let's stamp it, stampity stamp. Here are your top 3 versions of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Sir Elton John. At number 3, Ellie Drennan. At number 2, Wax and Coco Mo. And your number 1 all-time cover version of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is from Sarah Bareilles. All right, Seth, how do you think we did there?
I think we got them. Yeah, those are really awesome takes. So I think I'm happy with that.
Good as we could do with such great songs to choose from, and all the covers were excellent. So go check out our playlist. Seth, before we get into the socials and where the peoples can find us, would you like to know what we will be covering for our final cover of season 1?
I would like to know.
And I am so excited to tell you this is going to be our most recent song.
Oh, really?
Of all of the songs that we've covered by far. This was in 2019. It's from an album called When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. When the Party's Over is going to be the song that we are doing next week here on the show. Are you familiar with that song at all, or do you love it?
The title sounds familiar. I recently in the last couple of years, got into Billie Eilish. I wasn't a fan when she first started, but
really,
her and her brother are
interesting.
Really talented.
I mean, they're a songwriting duo, just kind of like, Elton and Bernie were. I mean, only not really at all because they're brother and sister. So it adds a whole new aspect to it too. But yeah, great musicians in their own right too. Phineas is starting to throw out some great tracks too and have some nice collaborations as well. So before we say bye-bye, Seth, where can the peoples find us on the socials?
So you can find us at Cover Wars Podcast on YouTube, Cover Wars Podcast on Facebook, coverwarspodcast@gmail.com, and Cover Wars on TikTok.
All right. Hey, when you're out there and you're all alone and you don't know where to go for songs covered by artists other than the original, Seth and I, we've got you covered. Bye, everybody.
Bye.